Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the e-commerce performance marketing show. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ecom Performance Marketing Show. I'm here with special guest Brenda Mendez, who has been on the show several times, maybe too many times, but you know what?
You keep inviting me.
I keep inviting her back because she's super valuable and she's super smart and she has a lot that she brings to the show every time I bring her on. So in this episode, we're actually going to talk about how to really approach your e-commerce business as a brand. So this way you can have long-lasting impact on yourself and also even your family and also even generations to come. That's what I want to talk about in today's episode because I really want to give you a lot of value today with Brenda here. So
yes.
How do you feel about this topic?
This is one of my favorite topics, and it's the one most overlooked because branding is such a huge topic and you can't really see an ROI, but it's the biggest thing that's going to really elevate your brand and again, creating a legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. But what does that mean though? Like, what does it mean to create a brand?
To create a brand, I would say I love to talk about this example about think about your brand as a castle and building moats around it where your foundation is really strong, and no matter if competitors or you get a lawsuit, like you are building this really strong pillars around you and moats that it can't fall. So again, like the foundation of a house, and you start building it and you don't have the right foundation or the right tools, and later down the road, that house is going to fall apart. That castle is going to fall apart. It's going to drown. It's going to get flooded. So I'm here to teach you about how to develop these really strong moats and pillars that's going to elevate your brand. And for maybe an acquisition, public offering, whatever it is, whatever your legacy that you want to create in this world, I want to give you those tools.
Cool. So before we go into what you just talked about, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your background and why you can speak to this?
Yes, so who am I to be talking about this branding topic? I want to say humbly that I helped grow a brand to 9 figures, and looking back at it, I was able to develop this framework, blueprint sort of to seeing what did I do to create the brand Snow Teeth Whitening to become so successful, to become such a powerhouse online and have all these connections and associations with celebrities and distribution and all that. So looking back at it, reflecting on it, I was able to pinpoint what I did and how I helped grow that brand to 9 figures.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's why she's here on this episode talking about this topic today, because she has a lot of experience on this topic. So you
from
said
the ground up. Yeah. To retailers.
Humble beginnings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just like a lot of people that are watching or listening to this episode, you were with Snow Teeth Whitening, even when they weren't even successful.
Yep, 100%. Everybody starts from the bottom, and nobody looks at you when you're packaging your own supply in the garage. So now looking back at it, people have no idea of what it took to really get every single order out and talk to every customer online, over the phone, really understand how to make the best products. And I mean, it's been validated externally by customers from all these sales now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about the early days, because how long did it take for you guys to actually start to get traction?
I would say a good 2 to 3 years to really, create a warehouse and talk to celebrities and influencers that really started to noticing us. But it first started online, social media, influencer marketing really helped us grow and get noticed. But I would say about 2 to 3 years.
Okay. I just brought that up because I know there's a lot of people watching or listening to this episode that might be, younger in their e-com journey. So I just wanted them to hear how long it took for you guys to really get that traction. And then after that, you guys grew very fast, right?
Very fast.
I think it was 18 months or so. Mm-hmm. And you guys were all of a sudden at 8 figures.
Yes.
Right?
So it was a very fast growth during that that time. So it was 0 to 1 million, 1 million to 10, and so on. So really 10xing every single year and keeping up with the growth and making sure, again, building that foundation, those pillars, where at year 2 or 3, we could have been wiped out of the internet, but it's the consistent and doing everything at the same time. So again, creating that distribution, working with the right partnerships, and really elevating that brand, so people can give you that perspective of, oh, I see, this brand is great, and it takes a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I'm going all the way back to the beginning of this episode here because it's stuck in my head. I pinned it on a wall so I could pull it back and I can talk to you about this. So you said pillars and moats of your brand. Now that's Brenda speak. So can you explain what that means to the audience, please?
Yes. So I would say, in order to elevate your brand, in order to build that brand equity, again, that brand equity is the perception of how everybody looks at your brand. So again, you look at Louis Vuitton, you see that brand perception compared to a Coach purse. So that difference, the differentiation of what brand equity is. So I built these pillars. I'll just call them resources, tools, of how you can elevate your brand. And I have about 3 or 4.
Okay. Can you tell us about those?
Yes. So the first one, before we even get to the pillars, again, let's go inside the house, inside the castle, which is your brand. We're back in kindergarten teaching about this because it's a really hard topic to understand. So yeah. This is your brand. So the first thing you want to do is look internally, just like you would as a person. Always look internally instead of externally, and take care of your systems and operations. So systems, operations, your people, so the people culture, making sure you have the right team to back you up and deliver this message and go forth with your mission. And then the product, make sure you have a great product. I'm not talking about drop shipping type of products, and I'll go more into that because that's also a great way to start. But I would say developing the hero product that you are going to be well known for, instead of coming out with 14 SKUs right off the bat. And
which a lot of dropshippers do.
Yeah. But they're learning. They're the best marketers. They're testing, and they get to trial and error products. And now they have the opportunity to reiterate and improve on that product, and then come out with the best product.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good for testing. It's low risk.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you would advise for dropshippers to actually be dropshippers so they can do testing, so they can find out what product should be their flagship?
Yeah, I think dropshippers can continue doing what they're good at in marketing and testing. But if they really want to build a brand, hone into that one product that you find that's working and being validated by customers, and then go all in. If you really want to build that legacy, build that brand, pick one product and do everything. You're gonna have so much to do with one brand, one product that is gonna take years.
So what were maybe 3 things in your experience that you saw or did at Snow that gave them that brand that they now have, that brand that is now worth 9 figures?
Yes. So I'll talk about one of the pillars being community. So building a community, and that goes with focusing on your customers. So being customer centric and always enhancing that customer experience.
Okay.
So community, making sure you're talking to your customers, taking care of them.
Now, are you talking about in a Facebook group? Are you talking about over text messages, over phone?
Every touch point, whether it's how are they, the experience on the website, the experience on the packaging and receiving the product, building a VIP community group, building a loyalty program, building an ambassador program. So all that falls under community. So that would be one pillar, and everything falls under that. That has to do with talking to your customers and increasing that customer retention. So that's one. The other one, I would say brand equity. So again, going back to brand equity, how can you build a brand equity very, very strong through IP, so intellectual property? How is your domain? Can you acquire a domain that's shorter? Everything counts, because when it comes to being acquired or selling your company, they're going to look at that, and that's going to be a line that's going to increase your valuation. So
Yep.
even now, Instagram domain, is it 3 letters? Like snow is now snow at Instagram. So that has an asset on its own, the following again. So building that intellectual property, and how can you continue? So again, R&D would be under
Brand equity.
Brand equity.
Right. So what are some things that Snow did to really develop that brand equity when it comes to like trademarks and
Yep, trademark.
yeah, all that stuff?
Yeah, so it's just going down the line again. We went after, it took a long time to get the IG domain, then trademarks, then research and development, having 5 patents, and developing the wireless teeth whining system that we spent a lot of money in creating the best one. So
you guys actually like engineer that product
from scratch, building an app. So again, building an app will get the customer data through community, but so that now you have customer data that you can eventually, I mean, that's a dollar sign on its own. So again, going very, very deep.
There's a lot you can do through an app.
Yeah.
A lot you can do. There's a lot of value there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were some of the things you guys did through that app that really enhanced the brand experience?
So again, going back to the brand experience, and we're there for the customers. So there is an educational portal of how to use the system. There's also it tracks your sessions, so then you get a reminders and notifications to continue using that system. And on our side, they get to get the refills because they're using it, they're being reminded, but it's also letting them know like, hey, I understand you have a busy day. Very customizing those notifications to say, hey, we want you to continue having a great smile. You haven't used it in the last 3 weeks. So then that way, internally in the customer service, we're able to know, hey, you can't complain about not having a wider smile when you haven't used it for the last 2 months. So that customer data goes hand in hand in delivering the customer experience, but also for our knowledge.
I see so many benefits to that.
Yeah.
I mean, for one, encouraging people to keep using the product, obviously. 2, being able to directly sell to them through the app.
And there's a rewards program in there too. So the more you use it, then you gamify it. Yeah.
Nice. Who came up with that?
The brains behind the
Was
brand.
it you? Was it you?
It's a team effort. It's always a team effort.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome. All right. Good deal. Cool. Well, so what else do you feel like really went into building that brand that's you now take away in your own experience as you consult with brands now and help them increase their valuation? This way they can actually have a real brand that they can sell one day.
Yes, so one of the biggest one, again, going back to what are we on the 3rd, 4th pillar, it would be distribution. So making sure that you go to many different channels and go through distribution, whether it's retailers, whether it's Amazon, to other platforms that really elevate your brand and put your product out there. So partnerships as well, JV ventures, so maybe doing a cross promotion on email list, making sure that you are partnering up with brands that have the same customer base that will leak into without having to spend so much on just acquiring a cold traffic, where it's just a very quick partnership.
Definitely. All sorts of online businesses, as you probably already know, they cross promote each other quite a bit. They always look for those JV opportunities. This way they can help each other, be able to monetize their email list further. And that actually goes also into why it's so valuable to build your email list. Yeah. So that's awesome. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, what else?
I would say the last one, which is also a big one and that really helped us out in the beginning, was association. So associating yourself with, in this case, influencers / ambassadors, and making sure, again, that partnership and them talking about your product is going to elevate your brand depending on who you are partnering with, celebrity or ambassador. And then also saying that this is a great product, so that's social proof. And then association through who you work with. So it matters that we're not in Walmart, we're in Target. So again, that brand elevation where if somebody was to walk into Walmart and say, oh, I see Snow there, their perception of the value of the brand will decrease automatically because they're pre-association of Walmart, it's already here. And when you're trying to be here, there's that misconception, that confusion, and there's a huge gap. And so making sure that every association and partnership makes sense to your brand. And then association through PR. So maybe you're in publications, maybe you're doing native advertising, whatever it is.
When it comes to PR, like, what channel did you guys tap into, or did you guys utilize a service or a person, or what process did you go through to be able to get like PR?
It was a mix of everything, and again, we want to be associated with the best. So in PR, we worked with Vogue and all those magazines that our customers would be likely to read. We did partnerships with Nordstrom and Saks and other different retailers that, again, elevating the brand.
Yep.
And then a lot of agents, so we worked with a lot of celebrities as well, so that helped out.
Yeah. Was it expensive to do that with celebrities? I know celebrities is not free, right?
No, I mean, it would range, everything would range, and then negotiation would come in handy, whether it's per post, and it depends who it is too. And this is a whole influencer tier campaign strategy, is depending on a fixed rate for a post, or a commission base, or a discount rate, or hey, just going to our affiliate program, or now you're part of a monthly retainer where you get to post 3 posts a month and a story, and so you can work it out anyway. If you're working straight with influencers or celebrities, it's obviously easier because there's more flexibility. If you're working with an agent, now you have to cut that piece. And so, like, there's a lot of fees that go into that. I mean...
Yeah, you gotta jump through hurdles, I'm sure. You have to sell the agent first, then sell the celebrity, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I know. I was trying to get Paul Abdul to help us out with something recently. That's a long shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not
but
impossible.
Hey, it can happen. No, it can happen.
It's not
I'm literally like one person away from Paul Abdul, my childhood crush, representing a brand that I'm
There
trying.
you go.
So, yeah.
And then we did a partner equity with Gronk. So then celebrities that you really sell and they really love the product and it makes sense again.
So you did give equity of the company a little bit? You did? Okay.
Not a lot, and it's very exclusive and selective.
Sure, I can imagine. Okay. So how can someone that is, at less than 100,000 a month, how can they apply everything you just went over? I mean, that's a lot, but just, what's some actionable tips that they can take from this episode?
I would say with association, go with even give free product to influencers for that content, not necessarily for that ROI, but still looking more for the engagement, not the following, where it's going to be a direct ROI if their followers purchase. So then you don't really get to spend on that, and your only cost would be the free product. So there's going through influencers is still a great ideal, especially for content. I would say build out your distribution channels. So if you're not on Amazon, but don't depend on one distribution channel, make sure that you're really going through a lot of different channels and understanding where your customers are. So maybe your customers are older and they watch a lot of YouTube videos or Facebook, then you do YouTube ads or Bing ads, whatever it is. Go directly to where your customer is at and try. It's going to be a lot of trial and error, but understanding again your customer.
Marketing testing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And enhancing, always adding value to that customer journey and experience and giving them the best experience, because that's going to give you that very organic, shareable content as well, especially if you give them a great experience from the beginning of landing on the website all the way towards them receiving the packaging, and maybe there's a really nice thank you card that gives them a discount for their next purchase, so they already feel really nice that you're giving that value.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, good deal. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. This has been an awesome episode. Is there anything else you want to leave the audience?
Don't give up. It's a very, very long journey. It's very lonely sometimes as a solo entrepreneur, just knowing that you have a lot of accountability with your employees and building out a team. And I just thank people like us, especially you, Josh, that you're always so available and wanting to give, and you give so much value. The answers are out there. Put your ego aside and ask for help, and people are willing to help you, and especially people that have already gone through this journey. So just don't give up, and hopefully you are delivering value to your customers that it'll come back tenfold.
Yeah, I love what you said. Put your ego aside and go ask for help.
Put your ego aside. Everybody's a learner at the beginning, and you're always going to continue being a learner and a student.
Yeah. The best entrepreneurs, the most successful people are always a student.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much, Brenda. How can the audience follow you and learn more from you?
Yeah, I'm very active on social media, so follow me on Instagram at @RubyEcom. I'm always there active, sharing a lot of value as well. I do have a YouTube channel and a podcast, so just find me anywhere out there.
What's the name of your podcast?
It's Real and Raw with Ruby, where I talk a lot about the transparency of both life and business.
Okay, all right. Well, you heard it, guys. Go follow Brenda Ruby here. Go to @RubyEcom at Instagram, or check her out at the
Real and Raw with Ruby.
Real, Raw, and Ruby. Wait, what?
Yeah, Real and Raw with Ruby.
Oh, Real and Raw with Ruby. I said Real and Raw and Ruby. Okay, so go check out our podcast. Hit subscribe. Listen to those episodes. You can learn a lot from Brenda about business and dating. Go check it out.
Everything life.
Yep. It's good. So thank you, Brenda, for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Hope you guys got a lot of value out of that.
Thank you for tuning into the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.